Thank you for being here with us to talk a little bit about your research. If you could please take a moment to introduce yourself.
Hi, Igor. My name is Raine Donohue. I'm from Montana, and I'm currently in my second year of the Masters of Sustainable Development Practice program at the University of Florida.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your research and what drew you to this field?
Sure. So my interest in sustainable development, I would say, has various roots. But most recently, it comes from a number of years working and living in the Ecuadorian Amazon. I worked with a nonprofit organization that collaborated with smallholder farmers to create new value chains for non-timber forest products. And my specific work focused on supporting farmer compliance with fair trade and organic certifications. So as a result of that work experience, my awareness of the challenges that farmers face to comply with international standards, that experience became the basis of my research. So now at the university, I've mainly been focusing on the impacts of certification systems on smallholder farmers, as well as looking at what types of systems or alternatives to certifications currently exist.
Right now, with all the change that happened given the circumstance of the pandemic, can you tell me a little bit what were your original research plans for the summer and how did you manage them?
Sure. So yeah, my original plan for research this summer was to travel to Brazil and to carry out a case study in collaboration with Natura and the Union for Ethical Biotrade. Natura is a large for-profit cosmetic company in Brazil that really places an emphasis on sustainable business practices. And the Union for Ethical Biotrade is a certifier that verifies ethical sourcing of raw materials. So the goal of my case study was to understand the costs and benefits of multi-stakeholder value chains, specifically examining the role of the private sector, being Natura, and certification agencies, in this case being the Union for Ethical Biotrade, and primarily focusing on what the impacts of those type of value chains are on farmers. And you know, there's a lot of interest in growing conversations about the role of the private sector in sustainability initiatives, and again, how certification companies are kind of helping or hindering that process. So that's something that I wanted to learn more about during my field research in Brazil.
Nice. And I believe you had to manage a few challenges. You probably were not able to travel through Brazil, right?
Correct.
Could you tell us how you adjust your research to overcome some of these challenges? And maybe also tell us what was the resource that you were able to use to help you with this?
Yeah. So I would say I was really lucky because I have the flexibility to kind of adjust the time frame of my field research, which I know a lot of people, you know, did not have the same ability to make those changes. So I am still hoping to carry out a portion of my research in the field. But that being said, during this summer, I was really able to dedicate time to expand my literature review. I attended several webinars and seminars to gain a better understanding of the conversations surrounding international certification standards and how to transform or improve them. Additionally, I was able to collaborate with a nonprofit organization in Gainesville that sources artisanal goods from artisan groups in Latin America. And so with working with this organization, it kind of allowed me to further understand the challenges that small producers, whether or not they're artisans or farmers, face in international markets. And I am really hoping to somehow incorporate that into the broader scope of my research. So again, that being said, I am still planning to carry out the field practicum portion of my research, but it's it's changing. It's going to change based on the location, based on the key actors. And so those are some of the kinks that I'm still working out. In regards to your question about, you know, some of the resources that have been available, you know, I think that one of the things that has helped me the most is utilizing my connections throughout my first year as an MDP student to really find the opportunities that were available this summer. You know, like I said, working with the nonprofit organization in Gainesville, that connection came out of you know, some networking that I had done over the past year. So I think that, and again, with the flexibility that I have, that has just really allowed me to, you know, make the most of the situation, to say the least.
That's really good. Can I ask you also what would be an advice that you give to other students that are facing similar challenges as they are doing their research, given the same circumstances you are having?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is just trying to keep an open mind about, you know, the possibility that your research goals or topics might change just based on the circumstances. But then no matter what, like, you'll gain a valuable experience that you'll be able to use in your professional career. I would also say, you know, I would say take the initiative to do your research, and also don't hesitate to ask about like the resources that are available, whether or not it's asking in your department, your advisors, your professors, your peers. You know, we're all going through the same situation and facing the same challenges. And so I think the more that people talk about it and, you know, can openly address some of the hurdles that they've been able to overcome, I think it'll be beneficial for everyone. So I think just, you know, don't be afraid to ask questions. And then also, you know, we're living in a time where technology, you know, we've been able to see how valuable it really is. And so I think being able to utilize technology, whether or not it's through Zoom, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc., any of those kinds of resources that you can try to, you know, incorporate into your research plan, I think will be useful, at least for the foreseeable future, given the state that we're in.
Thank you very much, Raine, for sharing it with us. We always enjoy to learn about the different research that our students are doing. And I'm sure other students who are just getting started on their research will find it beneficial to learn about the experience that you went.
Thanks, Igor.